Hey there, Jacob Aleku here. Today I want to talk to you about something I call the poverty of attention. The poverty of attention. What if distraction is the real poverty of our age? What if the poverty that this age is suffering from is not necessarily lack of money, but lack of attention and lack of focus? For centuries, we understood wealth in terms of money, gold, lands, silver, a lot to mention in that category. The rich controlled money, and the powerful control armies. But the rules have changed. The rules of the modern world have changed. Times have changed, and a few things have shifted. I've entered an economy where the most valued commodity is not money, it's not silver, it's not gold. It is something more finite, it is something more intimate, it is attention. We are living in an age where people are bankrupt of attention. People cannot pay attention on anything. People are easily distracted. We are richer than any generation before us, yet we feel poorer. We have more information at our fingertips than all the libraries of Alexandria combined, yet we feel less wise than the people who have lived before us. Our time is unique because it is flooded with distraction. It is flooded with distraction. Not the lack of money, not the lack of other resources, but lack of attention. So the central question is, what if distraction is the real poverty of this age? We are suffering from lack of focus, lack of attention, not lack of money necessarily. The inability to be present. Look at the old world, the world of the craftsmen, the world of the monks, the world of scholars. Their wealth was measured in concentration, depth of concentration, and mastery of their skills. That is something that is largely missing in this age. Most people invest in superficial expressions. They don't go for the deep. Most people are not willing to go deep. Our generation is flooded with a lot of tiny demands here and there. We are constantly available, yet we are rarely present. We're just touching this, touching that, but not rooted in anything. We're not anchored on nothing. Attention is not just a resource, it is the central thing that drives our life force. It is what makes our human experiences meaningful on earth. If you cannot pay attention to something, if your life is largely dominated by distractions, you cannot have a worthy human experience here on earth. If your attention is constantly fragmented, what does that say about your reality? What does that say about your human experience? And if your focus is largely fragmented also, what does that say about your character? You're not stable. And the greatest casualty of the attention economy is depth. Depth of feelings, depth of resources, depth of family, depth of relationships. Everything is shallow. And that is what is defining our experiences right now. It doesn't make sense. The system we are used to are designed to reward the quick takes, the hot reactions, the quick here and there. They punish the deep-rooted realities that people build. They don't reward deep work. But in the end, only people who are able to pay attention and engage in deeper dimensions of activities come out very, very good. Because it is in doing the difficult that we find gold. You cannot produce anything tangible on a superficial level. You have to go deep. And before you go deep, your attention needs to be intact. If you cannot pay attention, how then do you want to build something strong? How do you want to build something worthy, something long standing? It is not possible. All great human achievements were born on sustained focus. The mind that could take up an idea, work with it without being interrupted for a long time. That's how you build something strong. But our modern world is fastly eroding the neurological pathway for such depth. We are just scheming new ways for rewarding the novelty of quick reactions. That's not how to build depth. The poverty of attention is not just a personal crisis; it's a relational crisis. If a true um, life is built on depth, you can't build a good relationship, a true relationship, without sustained attention. That's what we're suffering from in this age. Attention defines our consciousness. It is the very spotlight that illuminates our inner world. If we allow others to control this spotlight, what does that say about our life? What does that say about our realities? What does that say about our human experiences? But the choice is still ours. The power to create, the power to focus, the power to be centered on something to produce a tangible result from that. Not all this and touching that, thinking that by doing everything around, you become something. No, no. To become a master of your craft, you must pay attention so dearly to that thing so that you produce tangible results. So, in this economy, what does it mean to be wealthy? It means to take charge of your own attention, to be sovereign over your attention. Take charge of it, control it, and direct your life force to where you want it to be. Because it is only when you're able to pay attention that you produce results. And focus is not a skill, it's a practice, and it's a deliberate practice. You must learn to deliberately design your focused life. Nobody will hand a focused life to you. And the wealth of attention, building the wealth of attention is a good thing, and it begins with solitude, not the solitude of isolation, but the solitude of personal possession, taking charge of your own thoughts, taking charge of your own life, and knowing what happens with you, knowing the things you should be rooted in. Once you select the things you should root yourself in, you won't be bothered by the hot reactions around. You won't be bothered by distractions around. And I get that's kind of difficult to do because in this age we prefer the noise. To choose silence over noise is hard. And you won't become anything with the noise. No one is going to tell you that. You want to follow everybody and make noise. In the end, all of you will end up where everybody ends up. But there are specific people that don't end up where everybody ends up. These are the 1% that control the world. These are the one significant percent that take charge of the world. Do you want to be part of that percentage? Then you must take charge of your own life. You must take charge of your own thoughts. You must take charge of your mind. That's your engine room. In any aspect of this life is gained through sustained focus. Any aspect of science, art, anywhere. Yeah. And people who gain this mastery are not the busiest. They are the most concentrated people. So it is concentration that births mastery. Concentration doesn't birth shallowness. Or you see distraction, distracted people are largely shallow in all their affairs. How do we build this wealth? We must control our mind, build boundaries, physical boundaries, digital boundaries, even. There are contents you must not consume. There are things that you have no business with. Your journey in this life is a unique journey, and you must look for the things that are meant to propel your growth. Remember, curated content just for your growth. Not everything should come into yourself. There are specific things that are programmed for people like you, and you must look for them. The world will always try to sell you distractions. It will always try to buy your focus, but your focus is not for sale. It is the foundation of your character, so you must be able to guard it. Learn to guard that. Don't trade it for anything. It is the source of your consciousness, so you must learn to guard it with all your life, because a focused life is what is needed in this time. And a focused life is a meaningful life. And for you to have a meaningful life, you must be able to pay attention. Thank you for watching.